Today, you're on motor yacht Fortitude. She's 136 foot, Intermarine, delivered in 1999, with a lot of unique history and a ton of attributes that make the yacht feel more like she's a 50 meter. From the guest perspective, you get huge interior space, 2 salons, a generous sized bar, a massive flybridge complete with hot tub and lounging areas, the on-deck master stateroom. And on the flip side of that, from your crew's perception, a captain's quarters that's a real captain's quarters behind the helm where it should be, a control room, easy access into the engine room. If you can really achieve that balance and bring together both components, you build something special in a yacht. And you've got something that for years to come is going to deliver on a private experience as well as a charter endeavor. I'm going to walk around today and show you guys what makes this 398 gross ton yacht so impressive. We're going to begin today here on Fortitude's upper deck. It's a huge upper deck, much like the rest of the boat. This is our largest entertaining area outside, and you've got all the things to service this space, like a grill, wet bar, obviously the hot tub, and it's amplified by not having what you'd typically find here with tenders and toys eaten up by jet skis and davits. Huge space. A lot of thought went into making this space as large as possible, including putting the life rafts on the outside of the railing system. So as we move forward, we've got a ton of options up here. Nice table, great place to have a casual lunch. Can be prepped right here. You got a nice full grill, full wet bar. You got a fridge and an ice maker that have both been updated. And while we're talking about updates, let's hit a couple of those. Got a new wet sound audio sound system up here, all new cushions. Right now we've got these umbrellas up. That gives you a little bit of shade. If you want to further that amount of shade, you take the umbrellas down, put up some poles, and there's a whole awning system that'll give this space what you're looking for. Here we got the hot tub. That's pretty self-explanatory. What you don't think about is the serviceability and logistics of having this maintained so that it always operates. This, speaking of all the updates, has a new liner, new pumps, and is in great condition for you to come on and enjoy. Tons of molded in seating up here on the bridge like you see behind me. Great place to hang out with whoever's in the hot tub if you don't want to be in there. And then further forward to that, we've got the ultra important forward-facing seating that all yachts typically see as one of the most used spaces aboard. You've got the nice umbrella shades we talked about, and this is the best spot to kick back, grab a cocktail, maybe have a lunch. Awesome space and an awesome flybridge. Let's go down one flight of stairs and check out the second level aft deck. So this becomes the formal dining area on board a super yacht. Great privacy, you're still elevated. You've got this nice coverage when it comes to needing shade. That's furthered by this awning that's in place right now. And as you can see, just tons of entertaining space. In the aft corner on both sides, we've got these little cocktail loungers. It's an excellent feature for entertaining, making this a little bit more of a versatile space. And really serviceable. You've got all the stuff the crew needs back there, refrigeration, wet bar, all the things that you need for your crew to service that dining experience. From here, we've got access down to the lower deck. That's where all the tenders and toys are kept. But we're gonna go in these doors and check out the Sky Lounge. Welcome inside Motor Yacht Fortitude. This is the Sky Lounge, and this is what separates a trideck from a traditional motor yacht when you start to step into this size range. You also get a glimpse of what the sophistication level of Fortitude is when it comes to the decor inside. There's a ton of attention to detail, a lot of little things that just set the boat off from most of its competitors. New carpeting, new electric blinds, that's also a theme throughout the boat. Little card table, place to hang out with the kids, play some board games. And that carries us forward into the bar area of this Sky Lounge. Every shipyard, when they're designing yachts, has to come up with a balance between crew and guest space, and there's needs that both parties would like to see. This bar is a great example of that. This is actually a huge bar, but it doesn't feel disproportionate to the size room that we're in. All the way up forward here, we're in the pilot house, and you've got a little spot here for guests to kind of hang out with the captain, watch what the crew's doing. And then forward to that, all the instrumentation that runs this vessel. We've got all of our monitors here, radar, cameras, GPS. They can all be rearranged as you wish. Throttles for our MTU engines, spotlight controls, bow thruster controls, our helm wheel, new VHF radios. All the radios were changed out for when the yacht went to the Arena classification. And one of my favorite features up here is a huge amount of storage underneath this doghouse. All the way here on the port side, we head aft, and you've got a properly configured trideck with a captain's office and his own ensuite, which is super spacious, really makes the captain feel like he's appreciated. Got your own ensuite, nice TV, and a great view out this window. We're down here in the lower level at the guest accommodations. We're going to start here in the aft. We've got 2 VIPs. Let's check out the one here on the starboard. This one's got an athwartship facing queen size berth that's got walkarounds on either side. Nice lighting coming in, flooding this room, and an updated paint scheme, so brightening the room, making it feel a little bit more modern, and accenting all of these really nice touches that Intermarine did when they built these yachts. Kind of concealed into the wall behind me, we've got this room's ensuite. The room adjacent to us is an absolute mirror image. From here, we're going to head forward into port. This room features side-by-sides that are split, and you can put Pullmans in here that would give you a 12-guest setup. And while we're here, it's kind of cool to really emphasize the character that this yacht has, the attention to detail that went into designing her. We're gonna head starboard and check out another room that's super cool to have, but here we've got the first set of washer dryer found on board. And continuing across, that takes us into this room, which is currently configured as a gym, which is very cool to find on a yacht like this. It could be a 6th stateroom or a pantry, wine cellar. It gives you something that most yachts don't have in this category. From here, we're heading forward to check out the final and largest of the guest staterooms found on board. This, like the first two, has this centerline queen facing athwartship. It's got a nice amount of space around it, good hanging locker storage. It's the full beam of the vessel, which is really nice. Plenty of portholes for lighting, and something pretty cool for your crew, which we're gonna go to next to get into the crew quarters, a secret companionway. All the way forward here on Fortitude, we've got the crew quarters, and this is an underemphasized area by a lot of builders. American builders typically do a nice job of giving the crew adequate space to call home, and that's a very important aspect for any of these yachts, so that your crew has a place to get away, recharge, kind of hang out, and start the next day refreshed. Here, we've got room for 6 crew members. There are a total of 3 bunk rooms, each with their own ensuite. They've got a little spot to kind of chill, have meals, watch a movie, kick back, relax. Everything that crew needs to call this a home, you can find here. From that crew area, we come up these stairs to the galley, and when we do these walkthroughs, we take time to sit down with the crew, the captain, the engineer, learn about the boat. And when we spoke to the chef, the term that he used was complete. So what does he mean by that? You've got ample counter space loads of storage, a lot of new appliances, tons of refrigeration, and everything you need to really service the entire boat from a meal prepping standpoint. This isn't a space that's only used by a chef. You've got your stews in here, they're getting things ready, putting out breakfast in the morning, making juice, and there's a lot of space here for everyone to be able to work and collaborate together. Lots of new appliances. You've got access to the side decks, the dining area, the crew, and then this that takes you in to the main foyer. Another thing I like on this yacht is that, for example, here, all of your safety gear in one convenient, easy to get to spot. And then just above that, we've got one of the mini fire detection systems on board. This smoke detector isn't just operated off of smoke or steam alone. It's actually got to feel the heat. That's just one of the things that the crew pointed out to us that helped make this yacht make a lot of sense. So for example, when you open up the oven, you're not going to immediately set off the smoke detector. Coming from the galley into the formal dining area, we've got a really nice space. This is where all those formal meals will take place, or if there's inclement weather. And you've got all the space to store your high-end dishware, your cutlery, all that good stuff. Exiting that formal dining area on Motor Yacht Fortitude brings us into her main salon found here on the main deck. This is a more formal area than the Sky Lounge that we saw earlier. 28-foot beam on this yacht, and you really feel it here because you still have walk-around decks. We've got a little privacy from that formal dining area with this little partitioned wall. That is something we're discussing about taking out, so when you see the yacht in person, it may not be here anymore. But again, the room feels very large, and there's a lot of updates that have happened here. You've got new furniture, you've got new carpeting. Every space that we see on board today like this has seen attention and updates. From the salon, we're going to head forward and check out the master stateroom, and that takes us through this foyer, and it's kind of the main artery of the boat. You've got access out to the side decks or up the stairs to the pilot house and upper decks or down to the guest staterooms. Continue forward, got our day head here, super important to find. There's one on every level, and then finally access into the galley. We come through these double doors and into the main foyer for the master stateroom. Got your hanging lockers here on the port side, an immense amount of space, and it's a pretty spectacular stateroom. Being on deck is critical, and the space feels really warm and inviting. Having an on-deck master too just gives you an amazing view of the seascapes that really is why you're out there in the first place. Up here you'll also find ample storage like the dressers behind me, the dressers underneath, the television here, and then all the way here on the port side we've got a little vanity or desk area, and then behind me the ensuite. This is the aft deck of Motor Yacht Fortitude, and this is kind of a utility deck. It's really great to keep all this weight down, so your center of gravity's nice and low. It also makes putting all these toys back here in the water a little bit easier because they're that much closer, so there's less swinging. This area serves basically as a prep area, a staging area for all of the activities that you're going to have on the water. Heading over to the port side, we'll walk past these stairs that take us to the upper aft deck, and then another spot where the second tender would go, the second set of tenders. This is where that AB was that you saw earlier. That drops in. We've got the cranes overhead. The side opens up like this on both port and starboard side, so access in for your tenders, again, really, really easy, opening this up to a huge entertaining space. Something else the captain mentioned when these are in the down position is it creates an awesome cross breeze to keep this nice and ventilated and cool. These right here, these chalks, they'll either fold down like you see now, or you can take all these bolts out, make this a nice flat surface. We step down from the swim platform into this aft lazarette, and this is a pretty cool spot to be able to store all of your water toys, keep your fishing rods out of the way, life jackets, BCDs for diving. Really good spot for that. It also provides your engineer a little workstation as well as an engineering stateroom, which is pretty rare to see on a yacht of this size. That's typically found on much larger boats. We talked about before the balance that this yacht sees with crew and guests, and down here, it's pretty evident that a lot of attention was given to that crew space again. So we come into the engineer control room. As you can kind of see down here, everything's larger. We get a real engineering monitoring system. From here, we're gonna walk into the engine room, and as we do so, you'll note that there is a little storage area, a little garage, so to speak, over here on the port side. We step into the engine room and immediately welcomed by a huge space. It is a little noisier in here because we've got the chillers running. You've got your Atlas converting system right here. Handles all of your power so you can go to multiple locations. You've got two generators, both 80 kilowatts apiece. They're capable of running the boat on their own. All the way forward here, we've got our 12V 396 MTUs. These were overhauled in 2018. And they're both coming in at 2,250 horsepower apiece. So this yacht has some serious power. The amount of space down here is absolutely mind-blowing. We make a lot of videos and we talk about space being so abundant in these yachts, and it's a pretty rare thing to find a yacht like this where all of your systems are just so accessible. Bear in mind that we didn't sacrifice the engineer control room or his crew quarters area in order to achieve a pretty impressive space for your engine room. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on board Motor Yacht Fortitude here in Hillsborough, Mile, Florida. I'm Will Noftsinger with Dennison Yachting, and if you'd like to get on board, contact me or my wife, Carrie, anytime. We'd love to show you this or any one of our listings. Thanks for joining us.